I'm here with Ryan Breymaier. So, first off, how's it being back in the Midwest? And when was the last time you really sailed out here?
I came out here years ago. I think the first time I did the Verve Cup and then the Mac race in 1999, and then after that, and that was with the Corel 45, which was Tom Neal's old boat, the old Nightmare. That's his name, right? Yeah. And then a few years later, I came back with the TP52 Shambach, and we did the Mac race as well. And it's great being back. I mean, it's an incredible place in the summertime. It's beautiful weather. People are friendly. The sailing is good. And it's freshwater sailing, which is obviously very nice if you've ever done it.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you just completed the Port Huron Mac, gearing up for the Chicago. You're doing both. Have you done either before, and if so, how long ago?
Yeah, no, the Port Huron I had never done before, and it's an interesting race. It's pretty nice because when you turn, if you do the Cove Island course, you have to turn towards the west, and so 90% of the time you have an upwind beat to the finish. So it's a pretty good test of tactics as well as just boat speed. So I enjoyed that race, and then this one, like I said, I've done it twice before, and the conditions were pretty similar both times, sort of southerly, not that breezy, reaching, and looks like for my third time here, we're gonna have about the same conditions. It should be nice, but probably not particularly windy.
Well, speaking of not being particularly windy, thankfully you're on this beautiful, customized trimaran.
Yeah.
Had you sailed on Cheeky before?
I never had. I met Rick Warner and Ron White last year when I was out in San Francisco working on the Tritium trimaran during the America's Cup that they were coming to watch, and we sort of hit it off when they came to visit the boat, and then they asked me to come and sail with them, and I really honestly didn't know what to expect, and the boat has been an incredibly pleasant surprise. I expected sort of a Farrier, which was a little bit modified and probably not enormously high performance, but this thing is incredible. It does 11 knots upwind, and reaching, it does 20, 25 knots no problem, and it's only 33 feet long, and it does all that with fingertip control, very easy to sail, and it's just very cool. It's really nice to be able to step onto a boat like this that people have put so much time and effort into getting right and making it nice and easy to sail.
Cool. I think meeting up at events like this is great. At least from what you're used to, a little bit away from the hoopla, and in a way too back to the roots of kind of the heartland sailing. Do you find the need to escape like this at times and perhaps sail for fun, as this kind of is?
Absolutely. I mean, I jumped at the chance to come do this just because I know Chicago. I know that it's a lot of fun up here, and I know these kind of programs with smaller boats and more like sort of family programs are definitely a lot of fun, and I've been looking forward to it for a couple of months, since Rick asked me, and here we are now, and it's just awesome. The Port Huron race was great, and now it's being in Chicago in front of the yacht club here is just a really nice place, and yeah, it's definitely stress-free sailing for me, so I like it quite a lot.
Very cool. So switching gears a little, what would you say is the best sailing advice you've ever gotten, and do you follow it regularly?
Yeah. I had somebody say to me once, Ryan, you're only half as good as you think you are, and you're twice as good as everyone gives you credit for. And I think that keeping sort of that dose of humility is great, and I think about that quite a lot, and I think that it's true of most of us, and so I just try to live by just being humble and working hard and having fun while I'm at it.
What, given your experiences thus far, large and small, advice would you give to other sailors? I'm not trying to narrow in on a specific age or class so much as, the way you got into sailing, the way your career's kind of blossomed. Is there any sage wisdom at this stage that you feel you could impart?
It's the same as it is in any other thing that you're going to make into your profession. You got to get there before the boss, leave after the boss, and work harder than everybody else, doing the jobs that no one else wants to do, and that's the way it works. If you manage to do all that, and you and you have fun while you're doing it, and people want to have you around, then good things will happen to you, you know. And I guess the last part of it is just to be, you know, it's not even being willing to take chances. It's you have to. If you want to do what I do for a living, you gotta get out there and live out of a bag for 10 years and really, you know, make a lot of contacts and find yourself good situations to be involved in. It just doesn't happen by talking about it or hanging out at your yacht club. That's for sure.
Great, thank you. Okay, so of course I'm going to bring it up. New York to Barcelona. Congrats, obviously.
Thank you.
You know, not echoing a lot of the same points, but obviously I'm feeling very much so that this was a huge turning point for you. And you know, do you agree? And can you hone in on kind of what that race? Do you think from the moment you were tapped to skipper to winning and kind of the days I'm sure you were in after? Can you maybe hone in on what kind of crux this is at for you now?
Yeah, you know, it was a massive opportunity for me, obviously, to be able to get on the starting line of that race from New York, you know, from my country, and on a very good boat in Hugo Boss, and you know, it's just been something to be capitalized on, and luckily Pepe Ribas and I managed to bring home the first place trophy, which feels really good, you know. And I think that it's for my sailing, I think it's you know, another feather in the cap for sure, and I think it vindicates for me, you know, all the work that I've put into becoming good at offshore sailing and EMOCA 60s and all the rest of it, that Pepe and I were able to get together, having never sailed together and never really practiced together, and leave on the race and end up winning in the end, you know, against some very good competition who really know their boats well. So, you know, for me personally, it's very satisfying to have been able to do that, and in terms of my career, you know, it's I think it just proves that I have what it takes to have a winning program in the EMOCA class.